Yo, Mad Dog Killer. Yo, I'm back. First of all, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna get right into this battle with Tay Roc and Dna. First of all, a lot of stuff. There's a lot of things that goes into a battle. And some battle rappers capture everything and some don't. If you talk to Goods, Hitman, they realize, even Conceited, they realize a lot of things that maybe even the fans aren't aware of, but they react to it. And even other top tier battle rappers don't grasp. So I'm alluding to the whole feel for when one opponent shows up on stage versus another opponent. And a lot of times when you look on camera, you don't see it. You don't see the buildup or how the last battle ended leading into the next battle. I was there in the building for this. Summer Madness thing. And I'll say that I think it was the second to last battle of the night. We had already seen B Magic. We had already seen Hitman and Surf. So there was a street vibe going through the crowd heavy. And it was like riding a wave. If you could surf and ride on that wave of that street vibe, you was going to have an edge that night. The URL crowd is not always thugged out. But that night, there was that street wave that was rocking heavy. And if you're there in the building, you know what I'm talking about. When you're sitting at home and you're watching it months later and you don't have the connection between how the night was going, even, I'll get into this a little bit more, the hype man, Bigums, you know, he was in the crowd for the first few battles. And then he was like, anytime somebody would reference Tay Roc or say something, he was like going crazy. He even stopped the battle once or twice. Smack had to tell him, yo, chill. You know what I'm saying? Bigums was really influencing the crowd before the Tay Roc battles. When he got on stage and he was doing his thing, people was reacting to it. Even the first few rounds of this battle, you didn't see Bigums, the guy with the green and white striped shirt. You didn't see him on camera the first two rounds, but a lot of stuff he was doing on stage was hyping the crowd up. And there was other people there like Poison Pen and some other dudes that, you know, their movements and mannerisms was hyping the crowd up. So now I'm going to get into the battle. And I'm gonna just say this first. When the battle started and Dna went, he was doing his thing. He was, you know, I'm not gonna say that people was like rocking with him crazy, but he was doing his thing. And he had a couple bars, you know what I'm saying? But I don't really know, what's the word I want to say? I don't really know if what he was saying was connected with the crowd, because remind you, it was just coming off of that street vibe. So he said his bars, he did what he did, and you know, he to me, he tried a line at the end that worked in I think it was known for a previous battle where he told Smack to get the F out of here, get the fuck out of here, whatever. And the whole place was shaking when he did that. I remember I was there for that one. Yeah, it was known. It was known for. The whole place was shaking when he did that, and it was legit. I think he did it against Ill Will. It was legit. Yeah, it was Dna Ill Will. But he tried it again, and it didn't work in the first round. Well, you got to remember, you did that against Ill Will. A lot of people saw that. And I'm sure Tay Roc and Smack may have had conversations about that. And Tay Roc, in the back of his mind, probably might have said, shoot, if he ever did that while I was on stage, this is what I would have said. And he probably had that bar 4 months ago, 5 months ago, whenever Noam hit. So he just said it too comfortable for it to just be a rebuttal. When Tay Roc went after DNA, he, first of all, he looked real comfortable on stage. You know, his energy. I met Tay Roc, I met DNA. And when you meet somebody, you know, just by the handshake or the way how they embrace you, or just the way how they look you in your eyes, or the way how they talk to you, you could almost get that energy like, yo, that's a real nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's a real, like, I mean, I recognize him. That's, you know, that's basically what you're saying. Y'all recognize homie. You know, that's a real dude. And you meet DNA and shake your hand, and it's like, this dude is not a dude that's used to confrontation. It's not a dude that's like in the mix. So it's like you know, if you heard Tay Roc, he was saying, yo, I'm a different nigga. I'm a different nigga. I'm not the same nigga you used to. And I know what he's saying. So anyway, I get what DNA was saying. He was trying to, you know, break down Roc style and saying that's light and all of that, and, you know, saying it's trying to blind you. When Roc was rhyming, he was really saying, yo, that's light. That's light. It wasn't like when he first said, yo, that's light, you know, against Ill Will. It wasn't like when he was saying, yo, that's light, or, you know, that's light, you know, when he knew his bars was heavy. He knew his bars was heavy, and he was trying to say that's light, like he had harder bars, and he really didn't. Those was the hard bars. This time when he was battling DNA and he was saying, yo, that's light, he was like, yo, the crowd was catching him off guard. He was like, yo, this is really light bars. He meant it. He really meant these were light bars. Now, I was in the crowd, and I was standing there. I was listening. I thought I was listening to the battle. I really did. I thought I was paying attention to Tay Roc, and I was trying to hear what DNA was saying. And there was just eruptions in the crowd, like, oh, man. And people was like, and I had to turn to my nephew, and I'm like, yo, what did I miss? What happened? You know what I'm saying? It happened a few times, like a number of times. I'm sitting there, I'm like, I'm going to have to watch this thing on video. I'm going to have to watch it on video, because it just was crazy how much the crowd was rocking with Roc on simple bars. There was some crazy bars that he dropped. There was some haymakers that he dropped. There was. But to say it was overhyped or gas, I could see why people would say that. But I also understand that DNA whole posture was bad. DNA started like trying to battle the crowd. Yo, my niggas, you'll never win. You'll never win trying to battle the crowd. The crowd is going to win. I don't care how much skill you got. You know, I seen Disaster go after one heckler and did a good job, and the crowd kind of turned on that heckler. But 9 times out of 10, you are not going to win going against the crowd. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta do your battle. You gotta rhyme. So here's what I say. The first round, Tay Roc was able to rebuttal that get him the fuck out of here shit, and then, you know, get Smack out of here, get Clips out of here. When he said, yo, little nigga, you only getting half your money, now get your ass out of here, whatever. Yo, that stole that round. I'm sorry. Tay Roc stole the first round. The second round, to me, Tay Roc's second round was all right. It wasn't anything crazy in the second round. DNA's second round to me wasn't that good either. He pretty much dedicated his second round to try and rebut what Tay Roc did on his first round, and then he tried to come at the crowd and say how much he don't respect the crowd, he don't like the crowd, or you guys, or how you treat it. When you not top tier, they love you, and then when you become top tier, the same people that loved you now hate you. He paying too much attention to the crowd, man. You gotta just do what you do. You know what I'm saying? That's why, like, even his hat. I'll give you a perfect example. DNA, you know what? I'm going to say that for the end. I'm going to say that. Real talk, I'm going to say that for that. I know I say that a lot and I don't do it, but I got you, niggas. Trust me. So anyway, so the second round, I'm going to say it's a toss-up. Honestly, I really don't care who you say won the second round. And just for argument's sake, because I don't think, I shouldn't say I don't think it was a body. In the building, I could see where people felt it was a body because you really didn't want to hear what DNA had to say, and you was riding heavy with Roc in the building. But I'm going to just say for the people that watch it on the internet and that alone, if you want to give DNA the second round, I feel you. I ain't even going to argue with you. Go ahead. Give him the second round. But if you look at the second round again and you really look at it, how many bars did he really dedicate to Tay Roc, and how many bars actually hit? You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, the third round, DNA completely lost it. I mean, to me, his bars was like he was trying to rebuttal and freestyle, and it just wasn't hitting. He wasn't punching enough for that crowd. That crowd needed punches. You know, just think about it. They saw B Magic and Conceited battle each other. Like the punchline, those are the punchline kings, quote unquote punchline kings. They just saw Surf and Hitman. You know what I'm saying? You just seen some dudes that give you punches after punches, you know, and they get it in. And you know, and you just can't have such a long build-up. And then when you have such a long build-up and the punch doesn't work, the crowd gonna flip on you. That's what they do. They're gonna flip on you. And anyway, off that a little bit. So his third round, DNA's third round was horrible. It was just horrible. And it was not memorable. It was not something that you want to see again. I mean, just think about these questions in your head while you're watching it. Like, do I want to see this third round again from DNA? Like, I can't remember if it was the second or the third round, but he brought up the battle that him and Shine had, Professor Shine, in the third round, and how it was the best third round. Yo, dog, why are you bringing up a battle that you clearly lost, and that third round was an epic round that people would want to watch right now after this blog or after your battle because you brought it up? It's like you're not helping your cause. You want people to forget that. Another thing DNA does. All right. So I gave Tay Roc the third. So it's Tay Roc first, toss up second, give it a DNA, I don't care. Third round, give it to Roc. Right? That the juice scheme was hot. He went at Khan while Khan was on the stage, was hot. You know, the side piece, get a side piece and all that. That was a good bar. You know, he had some DNA flips, and then he was just talking about DNA sounding right and not have given you that street feel, and it was true. And he's like, I'm a different nigga. So now that we got that out the way, let me just say this. I'm talking to DNA and some of the battle rappers that need that, like, you need more than just bars at this point. Stop twirling around while you battling a dude. Stop twirling around in a circle. You look like a ballerina. And that's where you're losing some people. People is like, yo, I'm not feeling this nigga. He look like a ballet dancer and shit. right? And then you got this thing where you start like shrugging your shoulders and fixing. Yo, nobody does that, homie. Nobody does that. You know what I'm saying? If you want to clap your hands a couple times before you get at it, nigga, so I do that. But this whole shrugging the shoulders, and it's like a cartoon. That's like something you see on a movie. It's not like real street shit. Yo, the tight clothes, DNA, you and Rex wear the tightest shirts in battle rap, my niggas. My niggas. Yo, don't wear a tight shirt unless you got the physique for that shit, my nigga. Like, loosen your shit up. You come out there, your whole presentation is off. You understand? And then, like, stop saying shit like, there's a couple things 2015 I want to stop. I want people to stop saying. Stop saying, yo, think about it. Think about it. Yo, dude, if I gotta think about it, then I don't want to think about it, right? It should hit me. And if I think about it and I get it, then let me get it. Don't tell me to think about it. My brain will work on some shit while you doing something else. Don't stop saying that. You losing people when you say think about it. Then you say stuff like, or you do stuff like, either people point to their head like, you know, or they do this over the head. Don't do that shit. Don't do that shit. Like, if I'm in the crowd, let the dude next to me tell me what's going on. Or let the dude, oh, shoot, you got that, blah, blah, blah. They do enough of that shit in the crowd. You don't need to do it on stage. And the last thing is like, saying stuff like, oh, you ain't getting it now, but later when you watch it on camera, you'll get it later. Obviously, my nigga, I have options to press the replay button. I could look at it myself and see it. Like, y'all gotta stop doing that. Y'all taking away from your performance. The twirling shit, like stepping back, you know, rolling, whatever, fine. I give Cassidy credit on one thing. I think this really works. And I know this Clips does it. Stare your opponent in the eye. Face your opponent. I think that's best. Facing your opponent. Second best, facing your opponent, face the crowd. The worst is not make eye contact with your opponent or the crowd and like turn your back on people. It look like if you're on timeout. That's just, I'm just keeping it real. Look like if you're on timeout. Like, you disengage it. It's like chess. When somebody else is moving, you should be thinking of a move, right? Chess isn't, all right, when my opponent's moving, I'm not going to be thinking about the game at all. No, when your opponent is moving, you're thinking of your next move. You should be in the game. You should be engaged. When you battling and a dude is doing his round, you should be engaged. You should be paying attention. If you look at Tay Roc, he was paying attention. He was engaged while DNA was going in. He could have turned his back. He could have acted bored, but he was engaged. That is important. It's really important. Like if you watch Oops and Old Red was engaged that whole battle. And he was paying attention to what Oops was saying. His rebuttals was decent. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't great. But it was decent and it was good enough to win against Oops because he was engaged. He paid attention, especially the third round. Oops had a third round that could have been epic, could have been dope, crazy. The way he's set up with the whole Ferguson and the video and all of that. And he started his spazzing, talking street shit. And people was like, yo, speak to him, blah, blah, blah. It was with him. And then he started talking about pulling out two hammers and shooting Old Red and leaning over the body and giving him some more lead and all. I'm like, yo, how do you go from having this like productive pro-black, let's get our communities right and figure this shit out, blah, 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 to killing another nigga? And Old Red just played. It was simple. I mean, I was watching it. I was like, this shit don't make sense. Like, how do you put your rounds together? Oops rounds did not connect. Same way DNA's rounds was just not connected. And unfortunately, even though people don't like the outcome, I still think Tay Roc won at the end of the day. And I think he won based off of a lot of factors, not just bars. If you're just going off of bars, I don't even know. It's like your delivery got to be right. If I'm not feeling your delivery, it's hard for me to accept what you're doing. Your delivery got to be popping. And somebody got to talk to DNA. He needs, to be from Queens. He needs that delivery, that street feel delivery when you in URL. When you at Grind Time or somewhere else, you could get away with some of this stuff. But his movements, his mannerisms, it's just not street. And when you face a street dude or you're in a street vibe and all the other battles, like Be Magical, it's giving people that street feel. You have something like this. Yo, Mad Dog, holla.